2, it's a boy. 3, 2, 1, Champ P, coming at ya, we. P. Diddy trial's getting crazy. Let's check it out. Shout out Moist Critical or Penguinz0. This is on his Penguinz0 channel. He made a video about the P. Diddy trial, and I'm kind of curious about what I may have missed from this whole trial. We're not going to waste any more time. We're going to get right into it. All these socials be down below. I'll leave some other reactions at the end. Let's check it out.
I just wanted to give you all an actual update on the P. Diddy trial in the midst of this flood of nonsense that's spreading around about it. Those AI videos making garbage claims like, a new key witness was called to the stand. It's David Copperfield, who dropped a bombshell about his secret MySpace page that told all. This nonsense is just...
I haven't seen anything like that, but I have been on Twitter, and I saw that someone made a claim that he fucked a dog, that he fucked Kid Cudi's dog, and then someone asked Grok, the Twitter AI, if that was true, and there is no evidence from the trial or court about that claim, so there definitely is a lot of bogus claims going around, for sure.
Told all. This nonsense is just going insano style, so I wanted to tap in here real quick and give you a brief, real update on something very important that just happened in the trial in regards to Kid Cudi's testimony. Now, so far there have been...
Kid Cudi testified on behalf of Cassie, I believe.
Quite a few very powerful testimonies that are strengthening the case against him, I would say. And Kid Cudi's is the most recent, and also the one that's had a lot of buzz and a lot of incorrect information about. Now, for those that aren't familiar with the lore here, the reason Kid Cudi would be called here is because he and Cassie had a relationship.
Yeah, and he's gonna explain how basically P. Diddy got his car on fire. P. Diddy was doing some crazy shit, dude.
And according to Cassie, in her civil suits, when P. Diddy found out about it, he was enraged and took action against Kid Cudi. Also, there are tons and tons of claims that have multiple supporting witnesses about the physical abuse that he inflicted upon Cassie.
Damn.
But in regards to Kid Cudi on the stand, it was focused on what P. Diddy allegedly did to him in retaliation, finding out that he had a relationship with Cassie. So Kid Cudi went up there and started to corroborate pretty much everything. So one thing that he recalls is that he had received a phone call from Sean Combs' former assistant, Capricorn Clark. Now, Sean Combs, that's the real name of P. Diddy, a.k.a. Puff Daddy, a.k.a. Puffy Flavor Camp Headmaster, a.k.a. Bubba Baby Oil Big Boy.
Bro.
And this phone call that he received from Capricorn Clark was letting him know P. Diddy was inside of his house, and then Kid Cudi started driving home, called P. Diddy, and said that he sounded calm and responded that he was waiting for him to arrive so they could speak. Kid Cudi also said that Clark sounded very scared, sounded like she was on the verge of tears. Kid Cudi said ultimately no one was inside, but his dog was locked in a bathroom, whereas he normally lets his dog roam around the house freely, and some of the gifts he received from Chanel had also been opened. That's why you're seeing headlines like this pop up, by the way, about P. Diddy breaking into his home and
unwrapped his family's presents? What the fuck? Do we got the Grinch, bro?
His fucking Christmas presents. It's referring to those Chanel gifts. Anyway, apparently after unboxing those gifts, the Grinch was no longer there, but Kid Cudi told the court that he had planned on confronting and fighting P. Diddy for this, but eventually decided against it because he didn't know like how serious it would be, didn't know who P. Diddy was with, so he ultimately called the police and made a report instead. He then also made a mention that his dog's behavior, he claims, changed and became more jittery and on edge.
What the fuck? So after being locked away, the dog is all jittery and on the edge? Maybe that's where the claim that Diddy did some Diddy shit to the dog came from, but damn, that's crazy, bro.
All the time. I found this little tidbit kind of interesting, where that statement about the dog is something that was actually kind of contentious here for the defense attorneys, saying that they didn't want Kid Cudi to testify about his dog being traumatized by the experience because he did not want dog lovers on the jury to be swayed. So the judge said Kid Cudi could only talk about the immediate impact on his dog, not any long-term consequences. Now, the big thing, the major thing that a lot of people remember is the claim that P. Diddy blew up Kid Cudi's car. So on that, Kid Cudi does say that he believes P. Diddy was behind the Molotov cocktail attack on his car in January 2012. He said he got a call from his dog sitter that his car was on fire, and by the time he had returned home...
A Molotov is crazy, bro. So Diddy deadass made a Molotov, and he pulls up on some villain shit and throws it at his car. That's crazy.
Law enforcement officers were already on the scene, and he saw a Molotov cocktail and major damage to the vehicle, and then provided a lot of photos of the damage. He also mentioned that after the car incident, the two met at a hotel in 2012 and said that Sean Combs was standing there staring out the window with his hands behind his back like a Marvel supervillain.
A Marvel supervillain is kind of a crazy take, because I remember when Diddy dressed up as the Joker, you know? He was on some kind of corny goofball shit, you know? I don't know if a Marvel supervillain is the exact term, bro. Crazy looking back at this, though. Crazy.
And then they discussed the relationship he had with Cassie. We discussed pretty much the whole story about how me and Cassie first started to date, to what it was, to how it ended. He said that P. Diddy apologized for all the bullshit and it helped Kid Cudi find some peace with it. And then he also mentions that he remembered Cassie talking about relationship problems all the way back into 2010, and that when they started dating in 2011, Cassie told him that there had been physical abuse in their relationship, but didn't mention sexual abuse at the time. Another quick thing to mention is that Kid Cudi agreed with the defense that he felt he had been played by Cassie in regards to love, like their relationship there. And another thing is, he mentioned that he knew P. Diddy was violent, is what he said. So overall, it was a really big...
There has been a viral clip where they're in like a hotel by the elevator, so we did see abuse there.
Testimony, and a lot of what came from this corroborated the claims from Cassie about a lot of these things. This is obviously a really huge testimony here, but it's far from the only one. A lot of the testimonies that we've been hearing have been very big, at least in my opinion. Even ones like this, which are here just to demonstrate a pattern of P. Diddy's conduct, I think are huge. So, hotel executive Frederick Zamora took this stand in order to talk about the internal notes that hotel staff kept regarding his behavior. So his customer profile had several notes to staff, including one that warned he always spills candle wax on everything and uses excessive amounts of oil. Everyone already knows this fucking freak is the Primark of dildos and baby oil. I'm sure you've all seen the headlines.
Yeah.
This hotel executive comes in here once again to solidify in court this pattern of conduct, like this behavior from him and how common and widespreading it is. Like, there have been a ton of big testimonies, but the reason I want to focus on Kid Cudi's is because his has become very controversial. Online, there was a big debate about him snitching, and people calling him a rat.
I did see that. Young Thug called Cudi a rat. Bro, honestly, Diddy, why would you not rat on a fucking freak, bro? Is it really even ratting, bro? Ratting? I don't know if that's really ratting, bro. That's kind of corny, bro. This guy's a fucking freak abuser, bro. What are we talking about?
Young Thug had even made a tweet saying, like, damn, he's a rat, which I thought was fake. I thought that was a fake tweet. It was deleted shortly after he made it, but I was really shocked to see the response to Kid Cudi's testimony here. First of all, he was subpoenaed. Second of all, he's a fucking civilian. It's not like he's out there abiding by street code.
Cudi's never claimed to be a gangster or anything. He's never claimed to be a thug or something.
He is doing exactly what he should here, testifying against a monster. This is P. fucking Diddy. He has been called the Epstein of the music industry. The evidence against this guy and all of his crimes dates back decades.
If you didn't tell on Diddy, low-key you're on some Diddy shit, in my opinion. Like, bro, what? Why would anyone not tell on, bro? I don't get it. Tell on. Like, what?
Of overwhelming evidence and degeneracy to some of the most abhorrent crimes you could think of for a guy like this. Like testifying against P. Diddy is something people should applaud.
Yeah.
I'm very surprised so many people had an issue with Kid Cudi coming out here and spilling the beans on Puff Daddy. It's just crazy to me. But I guess I shouldn't be that surprised because right now there is actually a very big Free Diddy movement.
I have not heard about that, bro. What? There's a Free Diddy movement? What?
Shit you not. It is as pathetic as it sounds. There's a lot of people that, some of them have been paid. It has been proven that P. Diddy's associates have paid people to try and shill to, like, support his innocence. But there are some people that are so brain-rotted and poisoned mentally that they'll get mad at the people that are bringing this evidence forward. Evidence which, by the way, you yourself can look at. There is video footage that P. Diddy himself has also acknowledged. There is so much documented evidence for his crimes for years that you can easily get access to if you want. And it's just crazy to me.
The problem is, motherfuckers don't want to. Motherfuckers don't want to do research that takes a second.
All of these niggas be lying. You ain't sit down, you change. Now you won't be so much
silent for the follow, man. How are you doing, bro?
That anyone's having a big hoopla and making a big stink about people.
First stream. Much love, bro. Are you coming from the YouTube?
People coming forward, corroborating that, and talking about it here. Like, I think that's extremely important. I don't know why anyone would be trying to, like, vilify people that are doing their best to hold an absolute fucking villain, like an evil piece of shit like P. Diddy, finally hold them accountable to face justice. Now, of course, he is still going through the justice system. He is still going through the legal process, so he hasn't been found guilty or anything yet. But for people to come forward and just say things like, Free Diddy, he's done absolutely nothing wrong, Kid Cudi's a piece of shit for snitching, like, that is so unhinged. That lunacy is diabolical, really.
Good video here by Moist, man. I have not seen any Free Diddy shit, but if I did, that shit would just make me cringe. It would disgust me, man. Let me know. Spot down below. Let's read a few comments before we get out of here. The only thing I disagree with Kid Cudi about is calling Diddy a Marvel villain. A few years ago, he dressed up as the Joker on Halloween and terrorized the streets of LA. He's undeniably a DC villain. Okay. Anyone that has a problem with snitching on Diddy should have an investigation done on them. That's what I was saying, bro. Expecting Kid Cudi, a hipster rapper who did a grunge album and has never claimed any gangs or street ties at all, to live by a street code instead of doing his civic duty as a victim to a monster is ridiculous. Day and night is not gin and juice. Real shit, bro. Real shit. If you think Cudi's a rat, your hard drive should be inspected.